Hello everyone, I am Blue Solus and I am going to be ranking the Pixar movies from all the way from 1995 with Toy Story 1 to 2023 with Elemental. So let's see, how do they stack up? How do they hold up past their release dates and how do they compare to other ones made? I grew up with Pixar, I grew up with Toy Story, Up, Ratatouille, Incredibles, Nemo, of course. Nemo, I think, might have been the first movie I ever saw in theaters, to be honest. So, yeah, let's get started. I'm going to try and go in order of release date, but I might slip up on some because I don't remember all the release dates. But Toy Story, revolutionary film, the first computer generated CGI movie ever made. I was reading the book Creativity Inc. before. This inspires me to see this type of stuff. Pixar is great. When in high school, I wanted to be a Pixar animator. That was my dream job. But the first Toy Story holds up well. Creatively, they used toys to hide the kind of plastic-looking early 3D models, which was genius. I watched it today, and it aged beautifully. Like I don't know, I feel like it could have. Doesn't look that dated, surprisingly. I don't know how it looks so good, but yeah. I believe the next one is Bug. Yep, Bug's Life, and his film. Uh, Maybe C. It's just. I just gotta say, it is not very impressive. It's passable, but I can't say much else on it. It's hard to like remember about it. I've seen it a few times at least, but yeah, I don't think it was the greatest. But you know, it is what it is. I can't remember much about it. So I think that speaks for itself. I think Toy Story 2 was next. I'm gonna put in A tier. I feel like hot take, but I feel like things in Toy Story 2 are just done better in Toy Story 3. Like the villain is kind of similar. I feel between both. Now there was some nice world building with the Al's Toy Barn, and cool to see Woody be taken away instead of Buzz, or just both of them. How they Buzz and the others had to rescue Woody, but yeah, it's very good, but I wouldn't call it S tier. Now let's see. I think the next one might have been Finding Nemo. Yeah, I'm already probably going out of order, but it is what it is. Finding Nemo. It's a pretty good story about parenting. Teaches kids about how things can be as a parent. Big epic adventure through the ocean. There's some iconic characters. Very quotable. Oh, you made me ink. And they call the boat the butt. Stuff like that. Um, but I will say the setting's a little dual. It's just blue, and it is, at its core, though, it's what it wants to do. It does a simple thing. Does that well. Millions of kids now, when they see a clownfish, think of Nemo. I I definitely liked it more than Finding Dory. I'll say that much. I'm gonna put it in B for now. And I know I saw it in theaters as a kid, but I'm not gonna have much bias towards it. Okay, I think the next movie might have been Cars. Honestly, I think Cars is like I never even liked it that much when I first saw it. It's not even a bad movie. I just can't get behind Cars. I'm not really into racing and all that. Mater is pretty iconic though. I like the location, Radiator Springs, and I can see why people would like it, but I personally don't champion it. Now let's see. Monsters Inc. is pretty genius. It takes the concept of when kids think there's monsters in their closet to the next level. The Monster Society uses screams as a fuel source to power everything. So it's up to monsters like Meg and Sully to scare kids and to getting them to get their screams harvested. And the villain is great. Great twist villain. Boo is cute. I love their relationship with her. How they're trying to save her. I think Randy was his name. I don't remember. The lizard guy. Great villain, honestly. It all ties together perfectly. There's great chase scenes. I love the concept of the doors. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson said like Monsters Inc. is the perfect representation of the fourth dimension with the basic teleporting with the doors. But yeah, it stands on its own after all these years. I like Monsters University as well. Maybe not as much, but yeah. Let's see. I think the next film might be The Incredibles. This is, this is going to the top, all the way to the left. This film is so revolutionary. It's hard to animate humans, but I think Brad Bird went ahead and had the animators animate a whole family and a bunch of other humans. And over the years, there have been a lot of superhero movies, but The Incredibles still stands tall with its unique, dark approach with a nice family dynamic tied to it all. Really, from beginning to end, it's perfect. It's a magnum opus. Like it's one of Pixar's crowning achievements. I can't diss The Incredibles 1, and I'll get to The Incredibles 2 later, but the villain, the stakes, the direction, the storytelling, everything is tied up together in a nice, neat bow, and it's just something I could watch over and over. But man, if I could go back and watch it the first time again, I would, because going in blind is awesome. I gotta say the line, "Honey, where is my super suit?" Oh my gosh, that line. Okay. Just to get it out of the way. Wait, where's Cars 2? Just to get it out of the way, I'm gonna put Cars 2 in D tier. So, take it from someone who doesn't even like the first one that much. The second one's a spy movie now. There's like a world tour, like different countries are hosting the races that Lightning McQueen's in. Doesn't make sense. Mater has more screen time when he's probably better in smaller doses. And this movie feels like a fever dream or something to me. Like, it doesn't even feel like it's a real movie. I don't know. But yeah, it's the first D tier. Okay. Sorry, a little gas. We got it. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I think. What is it? What's the next one? I honestly don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna say Up. Up, I grew up with, and it was a beloved classic to me. The opening, probably the best opening of any Pixar film, is very emotionally uplifting, and the rest is a different journey, though. I think I'll give it a B, because the character is very likable, and I just didn't know where it would turn. I can't say much about it. Not much comes to mind. But so he's very playful, imaginative, and fun with some darker elements. Yeah, it's just can't get past B tier to me. Okay, the next film. Let's go with Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is truly great, and I'm a little nostalgia driven by this. My nostalgia vision goggles are on, but I like the great escape scene when they try and break out of the preschool or daycare, whatever it is. But I feel like it. Well, for one, the animation quality is very very good. You had a good cast of characters. Andy's going off to college and he gives giving away his toys. It's a nice send off. It's a true great way to cap off the Toy Story franchise. The end, the very third installment. So I would say better than Toy Story 1, Monsters Inc., and not as good as Incredibles. I guess I'll leave it like that for now. Now let's see the next film. Yeah, WALL-E. Let's go with WALL-E. I'll say WALL-E is a little bit like Up because you have an opening, and then the kind of the rest of the film goes in a different direction. Because Charles Ferguson has the opening where he and Ellie get married and everything, and then in WALL-E you have the opening where it's just WALL-E on Earth doing his daily routine before everything else takes place on the space cruiser. I think I'll put WALL-E in A because, for one, it has very iconic characters that carry the story, whether they're the adorable occupied WALL-E, the sleek, futuristic Eva, or as she's really named, Eve. But I like the message behind it and the theming. I like that it's about taking care of what could become of humanity and where it may end, and how things could be done to fix it or prevent it if someone were to care. So I'm very, very into the politics and message of it. I think it's a great part of it, honestly. What else is there to say? Everything on the cruiser is cool. I like the different robots and how society ended up on there. The villain is very intimidating, and yeah, I just think it speaks for itself. It's very charming, and one of the Pixar greats. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna say Monsters University. Maybe I could put it in B. I'm not really sure. So I'm not crazy about Pixar sequels. I like it when they do just one installment, because I feel like it kind of takes away from it most of the time, with the exception of Toy Story 2. Maybe one day there will be a good Pixar sequel that I'll really appreciate. But these are my consoli in their former years before joining Monsters Inc. and all that. At face value, it's nice homage to everything. There's some references, I suppose. Randy's there, but he's got his glasses. So the basic plot is that they're going to this university, and I think Mike and Sully actually like knock over this canister that this one lady who could fly had that held her scare record, and they have to compete in these games or they're gonna get expelled or whatever. And that all happens. In the end, they don't even go the college route. They just like go through the mail or whatever in the Monsters Inc. and they work their way up the ranks. I think Mike and Sully are a good duo. It's cool to see how they met. It's just cool to see more of the Monsters universe, I suppose. But it's not very uplifting as much as others. Again, it's a sequel. Well, like I said, prequel, but it's not an original idea entirely. Yeah, it's just okay. All right, on to the next one. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I ranked Cars 3 as in C. I thought it was Cars 1. I'll move that up there. I'm gonna put them both in the same tier. Except actually, I haven't even seen Cars 3. I've seen most of these movies, but look, if I didn't care for Cars 1, I don't think I'd care for Cars 3. I'm not gonna rank it if I didn't see it. Like, that's just not fair. All right, Ratatouille. This goes right at the top here. Now this is just chef's kiss, because it's in the kitchen. Okay, but Ratatouille is very influential. Um, it's very artistic. It's really out there. It's about a rat who wants to cook. Of all things, it's the human world interacting with the rodent world, and it's about multiple things. I guess there's some romance in there too. There's the idea of how food is important and can be intimate and personal to people, and I always come out. I'm always like coming out with something new when I rewatch Ratatouille, like some new perspective or something. I feel nothing's wasted at all, and it's truly another magnum opus of Pixar. And I feel like whoever worked on it must be really proud because it came out so well and it still holds up, and it's truly amazing. I like the setting and all of the characters and all of that, how it's all laid out. But yeah, it's one right up the S tier, definitely. I was gonna get this one out of the way. The Good Dinosaur is pretty boring. Um, it will go above Cars 2. Like I've seen it only twice, and I didn't see it for one whole sitting. I saw like the first half the first time, then like the last half the second time, and like it's just it's just not what I feel like it could be. It feels like a tech demo. Like you probably hear that a lot, but it feels like a tech demo, and I'm not drawn to the main characters. I don't care for their journey. The What I will say, what's good about it though, is the locations, the settings. They're done beautifully. It's like photorealism. Good technical advances at sorry, good technical advances at Pixar, and I like that it's based on a story of like, I think it's based on the idea or story of like a kid in the apocalypse with his dog or something. And I kind of like the apocalypse because I'm trying to make a video game about the apocalypse. But other than that, it's not much there. I kind of enjoyed it a little bit more the second time I was watching, but it's not as much as the others. And I'll just give it high D. That's the that's the best it can go, I suppose. I feel bad for whoever had to work on it. Like, seemed like development hell. Brave is like, it's interesting. It's Pixar with its own Disney princess, and I like her hair. I like how kind of rambunctious and free spirited Merida is. Must have been a quiet nightmare to animate her hair, but make her stand out. It's a pretty standard story, all things considered. It's kind of meh. Like it's kind of it's alright, Like it's not terribly bad or offensive or anything, nor is it kind of some amazing feat. I'm just gonna leave it in B. All right, Inside Out, A tier, definitely. This time is it's taking place in California. This girl Riley has her emotions controlling how she functions, and she has like these orbs that are memories, and I think says a lot about how humans work. And it's a very fun, chill film, and it has a nice world design within her brain that gets explored locally, and it's just cool. Def- Definitely, I think it holds up, and I'll definitely say it's one of the classics, modern classic or whatever. Like it stands well as a good uh, Pixar IP, and I heard there's gonna be a sequel, so I hope that turns out well. Sorry if you hear my dog snoring in the background. He's laying on my bed. He's passed out. All right, I'm gonna say Coco is S tier. Coco is very influential. It's an instant classic. Like, yeah, it's perfect. I like how it represents Mexican culture and mythology. You have the land of the living, land of the dead. You have the music, just the elements of culture, the world design. I like how they have a bridge made of the orange petals. I love how it's about family, musicianship. It's it's very beautiful. It's well designed and made, and I'm happy with the nice touches they made to make it include things from Mexican culture. For years, people are gonna know about this film, and what's funny is my Spanish teacher, one of them, actually dressed up as Mama Coco for Halloween at high school. And I'll always remember that, and it's pretty funny. But let's see next film. Onward. Onward. It's a little blurry to me. I saw it, but like I don't remember it that well. I think it's just underwhelming. Like I feel like it could have been more. Maybe it'll also have its own cult following, but I don't know. This feels underwhelming. Like it's missing something. Better than a good dinosaur, but not to the not in the top three tiers, of course. I would say it's better than some new cars. I won't even say it's a bad movie, but it's just okay. Not one of Pixar's greatest, nor one of their worst. All right, Toy Story 4. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Now, what it has going for it is it brings back Bo Peep. It has an exciting new, very realistic looking location, and like toys are looking their best, but the story kind of drags out the whole franchise unnecessarily, takes Woody away from the main group, and I have to ask why it needs to exist. It's like I feel like it could have been a whole different movie, like a new idea. And I don't hate seeing the toys in such great detail and everything, but yeah, I have to wonder what could have been, what else could have been. And there's already going to be a Toy Story 5, so I wonder how that's going to go. But I'm leaving it at B. Alright, Soul. Incredibles 2 came before Soul. I'm going to put Incredibles 2 in D. And that might be a shocker to some of you people. You might be about to angrily reply how you feel. But let me be clear. Incredibles 2 can't hold a tune to save his life because it either just focuses on the family dynamic, which is nice, and that's some of the good stuff, or it just retreads old territory from the first movie. Kind of nostalgia baits you once you get all those member berries and everything, but it's totally just a waste of time and pointless. It was just going to retread the same jokes and stuff that made the first movie so great instead of bringing its own things to the table. And sometimes what people want a sequel is more of the same. Like I would say Toy Story 2 is more of the same of Toy Story 1, but with Incredibles 2 it's just using the first movie as a crutch to drag itself to the finish line, and anything new typically doesn't work. And the Jack vs Raccoon scenes are just taken up that are just used leftover parts from the first movie that weren't used, and it's just probably might be the worst Pixar sequel, no doubt. Maybe I'm exaggerating here. Maybe there'll be worse ones, but for now, I just feel very disappointed by The Incredibles 2 and this pop up, and I just didn't like how it tried to retread the same events from the first movie. I feel like it could have done more to be its own movie, have its own identity. and the villain lacked. I didn't like how they handled Helen Parr, uh, Mrs. Incredible, being her own superhero, having her own adventures, and the father trying to take care of the kids. But it's what it is. Uh, a sequel was never meant to be made in the first place, so I kind of get it. Like it was made from demand, but yeah, underdelivered, didn't live up to the hype or the wait. Soul. Now where should I put Soul? I'd say Soul. It's kind of interesting. Definitely feels like a Pixar movie. Feels very Pixar-y. Maybe I would have liked it if I was younger, because like it doesn't resonate with me as well as much. And I can definitely see people making comparisons to it, like Coco. I think I put it in B tier, but high B, because Soul, as the name suggests, it has soul, it has heart, it gets in the feels, it tries, and Soul's also like music, and jazz can be freestyle. That's what life's about. You're just freestyling, making up as you go, and it gets to the heart of what makes person a person, and it makes you think about hyperfixations and obsessions, and how things tie into the purpose of life and all that. And it tries to be very mature. And there's a nice barber scene and nice world building with the before life and its inhabitants. I'm a little mixed on it, honestly. It's not bad, but it's between meh and brilliant. Perhaps I should watch it again, but I already know what happens. But I like the main character, Joe. I like that he has a dream to play jazz music, and he's a music teacher and all that. I aspire to be a game designer, and I can relate to having a very deep embedded passion that I want to pursue. So yeah. I think the next film is it Lightyear? I must know of Lightyear. I saw it very recently, and I'll put it like in B tier, low B tier. Lightyear, while it is sort of a Toy Story sequel, it's more of just a spin-off, and I can appreciate it going a different direction than like a Toy Story 5 or 6, you know? Like it, at least it's not about the toys necessarily. But all the same, as it's not that exciting. I think it has a good opening. I'd say the first half is pretty good, but kind of drags by the second half. I wasn't a fan of the robot cat, and I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting that Pixar wanted to make a sci-fi film. Like that's still different enough. But yeah, low B is where it belongs. It's the highest you can get. Ooh, now this one, Luca. I saw it, I think 3 times now. It's excellent. It's what I like about it is it doesn't feel as much Pixar-y. Like for one, it feels like a Studio Ghibli film to me, and I like that it shakes things up. But it's very solid. It goes out of its way to tell one simple story. It has a nice concept, a nice location, characters, music. It's very it knows what it wants to be, and it sets out to do that entirely. You're not doing too much or too little. I'm very biased when it comes to this, but it's definitely one of the best Pixar films, no doubt. One of the best recent ones, especially. Turning Red. I liked it and all the memes that came out of it. Um, I'm not a female, so I don't think I can relate as much, and it seems to be more niche in who it's trying to target and everything. But you know, I like Pixar having their variety and everything and all that. I'm not itching to watch it again, nor do I say it's meh or trash. But put it in B tier. And here's the final one, elemental. What can be said? I would say also high B tier. I just like seeing the elements collide, and I like seeing the world. It's a little immersive, like, I don't know. I don't care for the romance much, but everything else is pretty good. And yeah, this is where I'm gonna leave the tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments.